Hi, David Shermonti. Is it alright if I interview you today?
Why, yes, it is.
Okay. Where and when did you travel, and how long did you stay?
Went to Canada in 1999. We stayed in log cabins on the Lake of a Thousand Islands at an exclusive Pennzoil Racing property.
How long did you stay?
We stayed there for a week.
How did you get there, and how long did it take?
Took us 2 days. We went through the U.S. by plane. We drove in Canada, and then we went to the island that we stayed on by boat.
Were there any memorable sights or stories about traveling to or from your destination?
We stopped at the Mall of America. That was very impressive, a very big mall.
Why did you decide to travel to this place?
I won a contest with Pennzoil and was able to go on their ticket, so to say. They paid for everything.
What was one fun activity that you enjoyed on the trip?
We went fishing, and I ended up catching a smallmouth bass. Every day we went fishing, we would eat what we caught for lunch. That was pretty neat.
Describe a new restaurant you visited or an interesting new meal/food you tried while on this trip.
There were no restaurants there. We did have the dining cabin, which each night different meals were provided for us. The most memorable meal was the last night we stayed there. Pennzoil went all out, and everybody got to put their own request in for their meal, and it was prepared for us. So everybody had exactly what they wanted. We all didn't eat the same thing.
What did you order?
I had steak, and it was really good. Another cool thing about the dining cabin was every night they would leave a few dozen cookies out on the table with pitchers of ice cold milk. So if you got up in the middle of the night and you wanted milk and cookies, it was there waiting for you.
Mm. Were there any interesting people you met on the trip? Explain.
Yes, the trip was with a whole bunch of different managers from the auto parts store that I worked at who had also won the contest. We all got to stay in our own log cabins and had a good time.
What was the most memorable thing about this trip for you?
Catching a smallmouth bass and eating it for lunch.
Would you recommend that I travel to this destination? Why or why not?
I would recommend that you travel to this destination, but the only way to get there is by Pennzoil's invitation. So the chances of you being able to go there are slim.
What was the weather like in Canada?
Cold. It was very cold, and at night it just got colder.
What was roughly the temperature?
Between 20 and 40 degrees.
What was the scenery like there?
The scenery was beautiful. It was all lake and woods. The only buildings that we saw were the log cabins that we were staying in. Very few people went by on boats. It was very secluded. There was no cell phone service for anyone and only one phone on the island.
Did you see any wildlife there?
Yes, we did. There were numerous bald eagles one of the most memorable things that we saw while we were fishing was a family of bears coming up to the shoreline, drinking some of the lake, and then heading back into the woods.
Thank you for your time, David Shermonte. I was glad you could take the time to really explain this trip to me.
My pleasure. I hope you get a good grade on your project.
Thank you.